Hello, my dear ones. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving yourself this moment. Thank you for saying yes to your own healing. I treasure your presence deeply, and I want to begin with a truth that has the power to change not only your life, but also the world around you. When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. Think about that for a moment. Every loving thought, every act of kindness, every moment you choose peace instead of fear, it does not end with you. It ripples outward. It touches your family, your community, even strangers you may never meet. Healing is never only personal. Healing is always collective. And one of the most powerful doorways to this healing is acceptance. So let's talk about acceptance together. Many people misunderstand it. They think acceptance means giving up. They think it means resignation, weakness, or lack of ambition. But that is not what acceptance is. Acceptance is not saying, I approve of everything that happened. Acceptance is saying, I am willing to stop fighting with what already is. There is such a difference between approval and allowance. Approval keeps you stuck. Allowance sets you free. Have you noticed how much energy you lose when you resist reality? Perhaps you've said, this shouldn't be happening, or life is unfair. And while those thoughts feel justified, notice how they make your body feel tight, heavy, angry, exhausted. Resistance drains life force. It does not heal, it hardens. And yet in the very same situation, if you breathe, if you place a hand on your heart, and if you whisper softly, I allow life to be what it is today, you will notice something begin to shift. Your breath deepens, your shoulders drop, your mind softens. This is the miracle of acceptance. It is not passive, it is profoundly active. Acceptance is an act of love. It is an act of release. It is an act of trust. When I say I accept, what I really say is, I am willing to stop hurting myself with resistance. I am willing to stop carrying the weight of the fight. I am willing to open to healing. And that opening is where miracles enter. Let me give you a small example. I once worked with a woman who was struggling with chronic pain. She told me, Louise, my body has betrayed me. I hate it. Every day she resisted her body. Every day she fought the reality of her pain. And the more she resisted, the worse she felt, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. I guided her to try something different. Instead of saying, I hate my body, I invited her to place her hand over the part that hurt and whisper, I allow this moment to be as it is. I am safe to accept my body right now. At first she cried because it felt so opposite to her usual pattern. But slowly as she practiced, something softened. The pain didn't vanish overnight, but her relationship to it changed. Her body began to relax instead of tightening. And in that relaxation, true healing began. This is why I say so often, healing begins in the mind. Your thoughts are instructions you give to your body. A thought of resistance is like shouting, tighten, protect, fear. A thought of acceptance is like whispering, relax, open, heal. Which message do you want yourselves to receive? Now let's go deeper. Acceptance is not only for the big life events, it is for the small everyday moments too. When you're stuck in traffic, do you tense up and curse the cars ahead? Or do you breathe and say, I allow this moment to be as it is? When someone criticizes you, do you fight with their words in your head for days? Or do you breathe and say, I allow them their opinion and I allow myself peace? When the weather changes your plans, do you complain endlessly? Or do you breathe and say, I allow the day to unfold in a new way? Every time you choose acceptance in the little things, You build strength for the big things. And here's the miracle. When you practice acceptance, your energy shifts. And when your energy shifts, people feel it. Your children feel it. Your partner feels it. Your co-workers feel it. Even strangers passing by you in the street feel it. A soft, accepting energy is like a gentle breeze. It calms, it soothes, it uplifts. Your acceptance heals more than just you. It heals the field you are part of. This is why I say, healing yourself is not selfish. Healing yourself is service. Let's talk about the affirmation for today, because words are powerful tools of healing. Say with me softly, today I want everything to be the way it is. Notice how radical that sounds to the mind. The ego says, but I don't want things this way. I want them different. And yet the spirit whispers, peace is here in this moment when you stop fighting. Say it again. Today, I want everything to be the way it is. This affirmation does not mean you stop creating change. It means you stop exhausting yourself by fighting what is already here. And from that place of peace, you now have energy to create something better. Acceptance creates spaciousness. Resistance creates contraction. In spaciousness, solutions come. In contraction, solutions hide. If you want to open the door to healing, to creativity, to love, then acceptance is the key. Think of nature. The river does not resist the rocks in its path. It flows around them. The tree does not resist the winter. It allows itself to rest and prepares for spring. The flower does not resist the rain. It drinks it in. Nature shows us that acceptance is natural. It is only the human mind that argues, that insists, that says, no, this must not be. But life is wiser than the mind. Life knows the seasons, the timing, the flow. When we accept, we align ourselves with life's wisdom. And here is something to remember. You can accept and still desire change. Acceptance does not mean you never take action. It means your action comes from peace instead of from war. It means your choices come from clarity instead of from chaos. When you accept, you free your energy to act from love, and action from love always creates healing. I want to pause and ask you a question. What in your life right now are you resisting the most? Is it a person? Is it a circumstance? Is it your own body? I invite you to think of that situation and imagine how it would feel to stop fighting it for just one breath. Imagine how it would feel to say, I allow this to be as it is for now. That small shift may feel impossible, but even the willingness to try is powerful. Willingness is the first step toward transformation. When you wake tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before you start the day's worries, sit quietly for 1 minute. Place your hand on your heart. Close your eyes and say, today I want everything to be the way it is. Then breathe. Notice the calm. Notice the relief. Notice the shift. This simple practice, repeated day after day, will begin to retrain your mind. It will soften the old patterns of resistance. It will open your heart. And as you change, you will notice life around you changing too. And if you forget, because you will, we all do not criticize yourself. That only adds more resistance. Instead, gently notice, smile at yourself and say, I was resisting again. Then take another breath, place your hand on your heart, and begin again. Healing is not about perfection. Healing is about practice. My dear, thank you for allowing me to share this with you. Thank you for being open enough to listen, willing enough to breathe, and brave enough to try. Remember, acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is strength. Acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance is freedom. And acceptance is not only for you, it is for the world. Every time you practice it, you are contributing to the healing of the planet. You are radiating peace. You are radiating love. You are reminding others that it is safe to soften, safe to allow, safe to heal. Let's continue, okay? Well, so many of us spend our lives running from pain as though it were a monster chasing us through the night. We call it the enemy, we hide from it, we deny it, we numb it with distraction or substances or busyness. Yet what I have discovered in my own journey and in sitting with thousands of people is this simple but profound truth. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your messenger. Pain is not here to punish you. It is here to guide you. Every sensation, every ache, every emotional heaviness is saying, please pay attention. Please, something within you is asking for love. Think of pain not as a wall, but as a doorway. You may not want to open it, but when you do, you find the message waiting on the other side. Physical pain may be calling you to rest, to slow down, to release the constant criticism of yourself. Emotional pain may be urging you to forgive, to stop carrying the resentment that has been poisoning your joy. Spiritual pain may be inviting you to reconnect, to remember you are not separate from the flow of life. Pain is not against you, it is for you. Let me ask you gently, when was the last time you leaned in close to your pain and said, "What are you trying to teach me?" Most of us have never asked this. We only demand, "Go away." But when you ask instead, "Show me," everything begins to soften. I have seen people who lived with years of guilt suddenly feel lighter when they realized their guilt was only a call to forgive themselves. I have seen people with chronic illness begin to heal when they understood their bodies were begging for kindness, not punishment. Now, I am not telling you to glorify pain. I am not telling you to seek it. But I am telling you that if it has appeared in your life, it carries a lesson. When you fight the pain, you fight yourself. When you listen to the pain, you heal yourself. This is why I say, I allow my pain to guide me toward healing and peace. Repeat that with me now, slowly. I allow my pain to guide me toward healing and peace. Notice how those words shift something inside you. Suddenly the pain is not a jailer, it becomes a guide. So instead of asking, "How quickly can I get rid of this pain?" ask, "What is this pain asking of me? Is it asking me to slow down? Is it asking me to love myself more? Is it asking me to forgive? Is it asking me to let go?" When you see pain this way, it becomes a sacred invitation rather than a life sentence. And now, let us move into the next truth. Healing comes from within. This is perhaps the most liberating idea I can share with you. Because for most of our lives, we are taught to look outside ourselves for solutions. If you are sick, take this pill. If you are sad, buy this thing. If you are lonely, find someone else to complete you. And while some of those things may bring temporary relief, they do not touch the root. The real healing, the deep and lasting healing, can never come from the outside in. It must come from the inside out. I love to remind people, the manufacturer of your body is inside you. Think about that for a moment. Every cell, every organ, every system was designed by an intelligence far greater than your conscious mind. You cut your finger, and you do not need to beg it to heal. It heals itself. You go to sleep and your body repairs and restores without your control. This intelligence is within you. It is not in a pill bottle. It is not in another person. It is in your very breath, your very heartbeat. Does this mean you should never seek support from doctors or treatments? Of course not. Outside support can be valuable, sometimes even necessary, but it is always temporary scaffolding. The real structure is built from within, and when you align your mind, your thoughts, and your beliefs with the truth of healing, your body responds. The body listens to every word you say, every belief you hold, every thought you repeat. If you constantly tell your body, "You are broken, you will never heal," then it obeys that command. But if you place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I love you, I thank you, I trust you to heal," your body hears that too, and it responds. Healing is not magic, it is alignment. It is aligning your thoughts with love. It is aligning your words with encouragement. It is aligning your beliefs with the truth that you are worthy of wellness. When you make that shift, something powerful begins to unfold. Cells regenerate differently. The nervous system calms. The immune system strengthens. The body is not your enemy. It is your partner. And when you treat it as a partner, it becomes your ally in healing. I invite you to try a practice with me. Sit quietly, close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and breathe. Ask softly, "What do you need today?" Then wait. It may come as a word, a memory, a sensation, or even silence. Trust it. If your body says, "Rest," rest. If it says, "Move," move. If it says, "Please stop criticizing me," then stop. This is how you begin to reconnect with the manufacturer within. And let me say this again because it is so important. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not beyond repair. Your body is not against you. It is always, always trying to return you to balance. Even your pain is proof of this. Because pain is your body's way of saying, something needs love. So the question is not whether healing is possible. The question is whether you will allow it. Will you allow yourself to release the constant criticism? Will you allow yourself to soften into trust? Will you allow yourself to believe that you deserve wellness? Healing comes not through force, but through permission. Permission to love yourself. Permission to trust yourself. Permission to listen within. As you go about your day, remember this. Pain can be your path to peace if you listen with compassion. And healing is always an inside job because the true healer is not out there. It is in here, within you. You carry it in your heart, in your breath, in your willingness to say, "I allow my pain to guide me. I allow my body to heal. I allow life to support me." I remember in the early years of my own journey, I was perhaps my harshest critic. I had this constant voice inside me telling me I wasn't doing enough, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy enough. And I believed it for a long time. That voice, that relentless self-criticism, shaped the way I felt about myself, the way I treated my body, even the way I saw the world. What I learned, and what I want so deeply for you to understand, is that the way you speak to yourself is the foundation of your healing. Every word you whisper to yourself, whether out loud or silently in your mind, is like a message sent to every cell in your body. The body listens, the subconscious listens, and life itself reflects it back to you. We often think words are only about communication with others. But let me remind you, the most constant conversation you will ever have is the one you are having with yourself. When that conversation is critical, judgmental, harsh, it is like pouring poison into your system drop by drop. You may not see the damage right away, but over time those words take root. They create dissatisfaction, anxiety, resentment, and sometimes even illness. I have seen it so often. People who criticize themselves endlessly often end up with bodies that mirror that criticism through pain, inflammation, or disease. Self-criticism does not heal. Self-criticism destroys. But here is the beautiful truth. You can change the conversation. You can begin right now to speak kindly to yourself, to say words that soothe, words that comfort, words that heal. When you say to yourself, "I am learning, I am growing, I am doing my best," something inside you shifts. Every cell receives that message and begins to relax. The nervous system calms. The heart rate slows. The breath deepens. Why? Because kindness is medicine. Love is medicine. Compassion is medicine. I invite you to notice the tone of your inner voice today. Would you speak to a child, a dear friend, or even a beloved pet the way you speak to yourself? If the answer is no, then it is time to begin practicing a new language, the language of love. Every cell responds to love. Every cell blossoms in the presence of kindness. And when you change the way you talk to yourself, you don't just feel better emotionally. You create the conditions for real physical healing. So let us try something together right now. Close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and say softly, "I speak to myself with love, kindness, and compassion." Say it again, letting the words soak into you like warm sunlight. "I speak to myself with love, kindness, and compassion." Feel how your body reacts. Do you sense a softening, a lightness, maybe even a quiet tear? That is your body saying, "Yes, this is what I have been waiting for." And of course, the critical voice may return. It may say, "This is silly. This won't work. You're not really lovable." Don't fight it. Don't resist it. Simply notice it and respond with kindness. "Thank you, but I choose another thought now. I choose love." Bit by bit, day by day, your kind voice will become louder, stronger, steadier, until one day you will notice that self-criticism no longer rules your life. Love does. This leads us to another great lesson: the ego versus inner peace. You see, the ego thrives on judgment, comparison, and striving. It is that part of us that says, "You are not enough, you need more, you need to be better, you need to prove yourself." The ego is always hungry, always dissatisfied, always restless. And when we live from the ego, we live in a constant state of tension. The ego says, "Look at her. She has more than you. Look at him. He is further along. You should be ashamed. You should try harder." Does this sound familiar? That is the ego speaking. But healing does not come from the ego. Healing comes from peace. Healing comes from returning to that quiet place inside that whispers, "All is well. You are safe. You are enough as you are." The ego will always want more, but the spirit knows you are already whole. The ego will always compare, but the heart knows there is no comparison. You are unique. The ego will always judge, but the soul knows you are innocent. So the question becomes, who are you listening to? The restless voice of ego or the gentle voice of inner peace? Every time you catch yourself in judgment, every time you notice the ego pulling you into comparison, you have a choice. You can pause, take a breath, and say to yourself, "All is well. I'm safe." These words are like an anchor. They bring you back from the storm of ego to the calm waters of truth. I want you to imagine this: your mind as a garden. The ego plants weeds of comparison, weeds of criticism, weeds of fear. Left unchecked, those weeds will overrun the garden. But you have the power to pull them out and plant flowers instead. Every time you say, "All is well, I am safe," you are planting seeds of peace. Every time you say, I speak to myself with kindness, you are planting seeds of love. And the more you plant, the more your garden blossoms. And let me remind you, you do not need to uproot every weed in one day. Healing is not about perfection. Healing is about direction. Every moment you choose peace instead of ego, love instead of criticism, you are changing the landscape of your inner world. You are creating an atmosphere where joy can grow, where health can flourish, where abundance can flow. This is why I always say, the way you treat yourself is the way life will treat you. If you are harsh with yourself, life reflects harshness back. If you are kind with yourself, life mirrors kindness. It is all connected. You cannot separate your inner dialogue from your outer experience. They are two sides of the same coin. So let us practice together again. Place your hand gently on your chest, breathe deeply, and repeat after me. All is well. I am safe. I speak to myself with love. I choose peace over ego. Feel those words echo through your body. They are not just sentences. They are instructions to every cell, every nerve, every fiber of your being. They are affirmations that shift your chemistry, your energy, your life. My dear, healing does not come from more striving, more judgment, more pressure. Healing comes from softening, from kindness, from peace. It comes from choosing to listen not to the shouting of the ego, but to the whisper of the soul. And when you do, you will find that life begins to feel lighter, freer, more joyful. You will notice that the world responds differently to you because you are responding differently to yourself. Remember this: you are always safe in the arms of life. You are always loved, and you are always free to choose words of kindness and thoughts of peace. The ego may shout, but your spirit always knows the truth. And the truth is, you are enough, you are safe, and you are deeply, deeply loved. When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. I have said those words many times, and each time I see how they land like a seed in someone's heart. Because deep inside, you already know it is true. You know that your energy doesn't stop at the edge of your skin, that the love you cultivate within radiates outward, touching your family, your friends, your neighbors, even strangers you may never meet. This is not just poetry. It is energy. It is the law of life. Think for a moment of how you feel when you walk into a room with someone who is tense, angry, or bitter. The air feels heavy, doesn't it? You can feel it without them saying a word. Now think of walking into a room where someone is peaceful, joyful, full of love. It feels different immediately. You relax, you smile, you feel lighter. That is the ripple effect of energy. And this is why I say with such conviction, your personal healing is never just personal, it is global. When you forgive yourself, you make forgiveness easier for others. When you accept yourself, you model acceptance for your children, your friends, your community. When you speak kindly to yourself, you shift the vibration of the conversations you have with others. One healed heart can heal many. One peaceful mind can bring peace to a family. One loving person can change the tone of an entire community. Healing always multiplies. So often people tell me, Louise, I want to change the world, but I don't know how. And my answer is always the same. You begin here. You begin inside. You begin by tending to your own heart, your own wounds, your own self-talk. Because a healed person becomes a healing presence. You do not need to shout. You do not need to preach. You do not need to perform great acts. Love is the great act. Peace is the great act. Healing yourself is the great act. Let's do a little visualization together. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine yourself as a radiant light. Picture this light beginning in your heart, warm and golden, filling your chest, flowing through your body until every cell is glowing with love. Now imagine that love expanding beyond your body, filling the room you are in, surrounding every person you live with. See it move beyond the walls, down the street, into your neighborhood, your city, your country. See the earth itself wrapped in your love, bathed in your light. Feel how natural that is. Because the truth is, when you love yourself, this is exactly what happens. Your love becomes a blessing for the entire planet. Say this affirmation with me now. As I heal myself, I heal the world. Again, as I heal myself, I heal the world. Let those words sink into your being, because you are not small, you are not insignificant, you are a part of the great web of life. Every healing thought you think, every loving word you speak, every act of compassion you show is like a stone dropped into water, creating ripples that spread far beyond what your eyes can see. And remember this, the world does not change through massive acts of force alone. The world changes through the daily choices of countless hearts. Wars are born in minds filled with fear and hatred. Peace is born in minds that choose love and compassion. If you want peace in the world, cultivate peace in your mind. If you want love in the world, cultivate love in your heart. If you want healing in the world, heal yourself first. That is not selfish. It is the most generous gift you could ever give. So the question becomes, what energy are you contributing to the world today? Is it criticism, anger, fear, or is it love, acceptance, and healing? You always have a choice, and each time you choose love, you are voting for a more peaceful world. Each time you choose kindness, you are building a new future. Each time you choose to heal, you are blessing generations to come. I know sometimes the world feels heavy. You look around and see suffering, injustice, conflict, and you may wonder, what can one person do? And I tell you with all my heart, one person can do everything. One person can begin a ripple of healing that touches thousands. One person can begin a wave of love that shifts the vibration of a family, a community, a country. Never underestimate the power of your healing. Never underestimate the power of your love. Let us return to that light again. Imagine your love flowing into the earth, into the oceans, into the forests, into the hearts of every human being. Even those you may not understand, even those who may have hurt you, see them bathed in your light, not because you condone their actions, but because you refuse to contribute more hatred to the world. You choose to contribute healing instead. You choose to contribute love. That is the highest act of service you can ever offer. My dear, healing begins with you, but it never ends with you. Every word of kindness you speak to yourself ripples outward. Every act of compassion you give yourself creates waves of compassion around you. Every moment of peace you create in your mind adds to the reservoir of peace available to the planet. You are a healer, you are a light, you are part of the great awakening of love on this earth. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you think of your to-do list, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "As I heal myself, I heal the world." Carry that truth with you through your day. Let it guide your choices, your words, your actions, and watch how not only your life changes, but how the lives around you begin to shift too. The world does not need more criticism. The world does not need more fear. The world needs your love. The world needs your healing. The world needs your light. And you have it within you, right now, in this very moment. Healing begins with you. Every kind word, every moment of acceptance, every act of self-love is a blessing for the whole world. You are a light, and your healing brings peace to the planet.